Yeah, I figured I'd start a little early, about 5 minutes early today, about going live. Give everybody a chance to get here before we open a discussion. Another fun Sunday. We've gotten through the holiday season, so that's kind of good in one way. But, you know, like the thing on the topic there says, good morning, Sean. Um, I've generally stayed away from mill surplus because the market's been insane. Well, any market, stock market, uh, damn gold and silver is, they're talking now that there's going to be a huge downfall on the precious metals. Um, so it's times now are insane, and no one knows what's going to happen. Uh, you know, we got to get the president elect in office, see what happens in terms of interest rates and that. And generally, like I've been saying, uh, your common caliber ammo, they're selling it like crazy. Um, Firearms are being discounted heavily. I scored another one this week. I couldn't resist getting like 100 and a half off anybody else's price. So, uh, so yeah. But one thing I have been doing recently that I haven't done, snowed a few times. Yeah, well, it's freezing here and it might have freezing rain, go berserk. Um, One thing I have been doing is I was looking around at mill surplus rifles, like just fooling around looking at stuff. And there are a lot of auctions. You can go to online auctions, uh, proxy bid, whatever. And there are a lot of places that sell firearms. Okay, all different kinds. And they're smaller. They're not the huge ones that you see advertised all the time. Like the hell's that one? I think it is Rock Island or something. Is the big one. Okay, you got to have a couple grand for you bid on anything on that. But there are several large auction houses. But if you go on Proxy Bid or some of the other websites that list all the different auctions, and they got auctions for everything. Okay, but you look under firearms military, and they'll give you a list of email alerts. I went and looked at a few of them. I was looking for a few items, just out of curiosity, because a lot of people go, "Hey, I got this gun. What the hell's it worth? What's it going for?" And I even went to some of the local pawn shops when I had time and found two mil surplus rifles in one, an Enfield number four, 1943, from up there in Long Branch, but it had upper handguard look replaced. It was blonde wood, and the other one was darker. It was covered in grease, and you can see where somebody fired it and never cleaned it. It had like, I didn't have a bore light or nothing. And it was 550, and he had it marked down to 490 or 95 or something, New Year's special. And I was kind of tempted. I said, what are they really going for? Now, when we had Rodney on last week, he was saying that things are going for 900, 1,000 or more. One thing you can do to get a quick check, to get an idea, much like eBay, go to a gun broker. You go and hit search, and you type in, Enfield number four or whatever. And there's when you go for like the wide search or the super search thing, it'll say closed auctions. You click on that, and then when it does the search, it'll have all the recent auctions that closed and what it went for. And generally, I could not find a gun as questionable as that one because I think it's made up of parts, um, with the mismatched stock and that. But I found a lot of them where, the wood was matching the guns. I glanced through them. But the going price on some of these auctions that close now You got to remember on gun broker, you're going to pay sales tax and all this other stuff. So a lot of other fees. So you got to watch your bid. And then a lot of these people charge you anywhere from $50 to $80 in shipping. Okay. So that's another thing. So a lot of them were about say 380, 390, up into about 450. Okay, is the price range that the bids were closing on. Which to me, if I could see the gun, look at it, think about it, at like a gun show or something, or go to an auction and examine the thing. I've done that. So that's about right. Okay, but I've also seen, if you search gun broker and look at what's out there, there's people like Rodney was saying, $850, $1,200. There's somebody on there selling a Romanian M94 in 6.5. And what it is when Steyr made those rifles, okay, they made them for the Dutch, the long rifle. And the Romanians had an order. They say it's not the same gun because you can tell the magazine is different. But there was an order for Romania, and they do pop up every now and then. A guy has got one on there, and it's not, it's an unusual gun. It's a hard one to find in your collection. I seen one 10 years ago. A guy had one, and at the time he wanted like $400 or $500 for it. And I said no. Somebody's got one on there for $2,100. Okay, no way in hell that gun's worth $2,000. Okay, but that's what I mean. It's insane. To a show, yes, I see someone selling. I don't know what the Doppler sights are worth. All the rifles I got, all the Swiss guns are just plain. I didn't get into sights or sniper scopes or nothing. But I did participate or go to one online auction. I was looking at a rifle. And, you can bid prior to the auction. That way, if you don't want to sit through it live, you just put your bid on there and see what happens. But I got outbid, and I wanted to sit and see live. And so we get there, and the gun's worth, I'd say max I'd pay. And you got to remember, there's a percentage. This auction was strange. It was only 15%, and you had to go through this rigmarole and send them a check or money order or wire transfer, no credit cards, no nothing, and mail the FFL and all that stuff to them, and they'd ship it. So I was figuring that would turn a lot of people off. Okay, so I said, maybe I got a chance. So, of course, I do my thing, my little specialty. I put my low bid in, some guy, and it didn't bump him out. So we're still under the $300 mark. I said, okay, we'll just go see what happens. So I waited and come up. So I started hitting the bid button. And I knew the guy that bid ahead of me. So I seen that. I bid up. And I think what he did is he went like 3.25. So when I hit 340 or 350, he's gone. Okay, so I figure, okay. And then all of a sudden you see from the floor. And this guy's just doing one increment at a time. And so I'm hitting it. And got up to where, see, I said, if you really want it, if you're really there, you're going to pay. So I run it up to where it come to 6, and I wouldn't go over 6 for it. I shouldn't have went over 5 to begin with. And it makes me wonder, because you have to watch these auctions. I can't prove it, but if something they believe should go for, say, 700-800 is what they're looking for. And I had it at 4. I've always found in these live online auctions, there's always somebody all of a sudden on the floor bumping it up. And I've watched, and I mean, it took 6-7 months. There was an unusual gun. I've been on an auction. I was outbid, and then I watched 6 months later the same weapon come up. I put my old bid in again, the max I wanted, and of course I was outbid. But yeah, you can't prove it. Okay, you can't prove it. But that's how you got to protect yourself. So it's tough. So auctions are tough. They're tough to get a feel. You got to really trust or like the company you're dealing with. All right. It's just the sights for the rifle or what? Sights only. Rifles $1,200. All right, yeah. Oh, let's see. Yeah, $55 a pound. IMR powders. I haven't even like I said, I've been fooling with auctions, and like I said, local pawn shop had a Lee Enfield and had an SKS. The SKS looked pretty worn and beaten out. The stock was like blackish, and I don't know what it was. I didn't even look at it. I asked him the price. It looked pretty battle worn, like at $550. And I said nope. Yeah, they're a common rifle, okay, and foreign people will be looking for $800 to $1,000 for one, unless it's some kind of unusual variation or marking. I don't know. Okay, I remember they used to be about a $350 gun. Once the supply dried up, and that they kind of jumped up from 100 and a half, 200. It went up to about 350 for, depending on what you're getting. And they're not coming in that good of a condition. They still come in parts and pieces of them, or something that's been stored in a cave underwater for 50 years. And I mean, I'm watching these people. I call it resurrection videos. That's that. Hunter's Lodge. Okay, I've watched 2 or 3 people that get stuff from Hunter's Lodge on a regular basis, and really those are difficult restoration jobs. But you used to be able to find the other ones fairly easily. Also, I don't know. It depends. I was at a swap meet, and the guy had 4 or 5 different ones out there. He wasn't asking an awful lot of money, but I'm going to tie up money in something, hoping to sell it or get a profit or whatever. So yeah, that's a tough one. But yeah, number 4, that was the World War II one. They made a ton of them. And they'll be the newest ones you'll get, other than the ones made in World War I or earlier, which been around a while. Yeah, but see, again, it depends on the company, the powder, all that other fun stuff. Then I don't know. I do know they quit. They put it out, quit making it. You couldn't find Bullseye for like 2 or 3 years. They still make it. It was not discontinued. Okay. But these companies, like I said, you got to remember it's only 12% of their production. And if they get caught up in something else, they ain't going to fool with it. They're not going to fool with a running unique when they're producing something governments are buying by the ton. Okay, and I think that's a lot of it too. But then again, from what Rod was saying last week, the way it is up in Canada, I think that's more of a government thing, because if you can't outlaw the guns, just make sure nobody can get the ammo, or the ammo is so expensive. They're telling me they're paying $120 for a box of 303 British soft point ammo to go hunting. That's more insane than anything I've heard. Okay, so I don't know about that. I doubt they stopped making unique. I Just Google it and see if you can find a notice about it. It's not that hard to find. Just put unique powder. Here, we'll do it. It's still there. Unique, $45. Quantity, 1 pound, $45, 58 in stock. So yes, it is still being made and you can find it. Yeah, I remember them days. I went into some sporting goods stores, and them Mosins were rusted to shit. I remember finding them before they started importing them into boxes. They did show up occasionally, but they were in pretty rugged shape. Well, Hunter's Lodge is, I don't know. Uh, some people do. There's several guys out there that have done business with them, but doing business with them screwed up. I tried contacting them and just asking some damn questions to get an idea of what they want for it to, and they're very, I get partial answers, this and that, and I keep sending emails, hey, you said you had this, what do you want for it? Tell me so I can, form an up. They don't get back. I ain't gonna beg them. And then, a lot of stuff they sell is, really bottom of the barrel. And there's a guy, he's buying these guns with all these parts missing for these old pistols. Yeah, they're cool old pistols, but trying to find the damn parts for them, number one is a hard and expensive. So, I don't know. GP11. 60 round battle pack. Okay, who's that? Hunter's Lodge or something? I don't know. How's it going? 314. Glad you made it. All right. $2,560. Anything I do for the Swiss rifles, I do for accuracy, not for velocity. And I keep it on the light side with the older ones, the 11s, 1911s, and all the other stuff. So yeah. Yeah, it's really strange, and this nonsense. Everyone has stated it. You send them the money in that, and it's 3 months for these people send you something, and they don't send no tracking, no notice. It's because a lot of these guys are buying stuff on a curio and relic license, and it's tough if I'm getting something sent to a dealer, a business, And, this aggravating crap where they just leave stuff on the doorstep, or it shows up one day, or they're not home and then they got to go down and get it, or what, uh, it's a difficult thing, but I think I'll go with another venue instead of screwing with him. Uh, and there's enough people that had videos out there about dealing with them and what you end up with. Okay, a lot of those repair jobs are really extensive, and it starts adding up. Or what's his name did one where he had a number 4 and getting all the parts, pieces, and things he needed. The safety was missing. Part of the stuff from the trigger was missing. He got the rifle for like a little over $100, hundred some dollars, but he's got it ratcheted up to 3 something already, and he still hasn't shot it. Doesn't know if it'll shoot good, if the bore's, and nobody ever shows you the bore. Very rarely do these guys show you the bore on these guns. Okay. And even if the bore does look good, if the barrel's bent or the gun got the shit beat out of it, that's probably why the stock's broke. You're going to end up with something that don't shoot well after putting all the money in. Of course, you can do that just buying any gun off a rack, an old surplus. Yeah, because probably the Swiss aren't making it. Okay, it's obsolete, and because over there, I guess they just use their damn service rifles when you want to go shoot. Because there's a couple guys that went to the shooting contest that visited, and I guess you just go there and enter the contest, and have to pay for the stuff and pay for the ammo and that. And they got a rifle there you can use, and they're using their current military rifles, so that's probably why you're not seeing that. Well, 1890. What type is it? What condition it's in? I bought one. The last one I bought at a flea market, and I think I paid the guy $180 for it. And it's just a Russian 1916 M91 with a SA stamped on it. Kind of a mediocre bore. Me and my wife took it out and shot the damn thing. It shoots really good and everything, but yeah, for me to look at it and say, hey, I want one of them, even if it's in really nice shape with a lot of money, $600 to me. See, it's hard for me to lay that money out when I bought the things for under $200. Okay. I'd rather go, if I'm going to drop $600, $800, $900, I'm going to buy one of these new guns, that I've been getting, like that Century Arms and that. And I'm going to get something I can go shoot the hell out of that's really cool and neat. And it is a military gun. Granted, it's not an issue surplus gun, but it is a clone or a legal version of a military rifle. And I think I'm going to start looking into things like that other than investing in, these old weapons. I'd like to sell some of my guns for those prices, but then again, that was another question. There was a guy on Gunbroker had this old black powder gun. It was either Verndl or something in that time period, and you can see where someone took the thing and suspended it from the ceiling, and they drilled and tapped and put a screw, an Allen socket head screw, in the front of the barrel, and I think somewhere on the stock, and hung it from the ceiling on wires. So this was a decoration, and this guy had like $1,200 on this gun. I think the screw was still stuck in the barrel. He didn't even take it out. So there's this Allen screw, socket head screw, sticking out of the barrel. And one guy I knew was interesting. He watched that. He locked onto it and he watched it. That guy reposted that on the Gunbroker for 2.5 years. This guy told me, I watched this for 2.5 years. I kept track of it. Somebody finally bought the gun for $1,200. So, you he told me that. He goes, I don't believe it. He goes, I cannot believe it. But he goes, it's true. On the birth of your carbines, they're offering it now, and they said they wouldn't send it. Is that Hunter's Lodge? Is that what we're talking about? Because we're covering so many different things here. Yeah, they don't reply. I asked one question, and I said I'm interested in another product. Can you please tell me what you're asking for? And I sent 2 emails. They don't answer them. So it's like, fuck you, okay? I ain't begging you to buy your garbage because, all right, Rod, glad to see you made it. Good evening. All right. Must be in a different time zone, I guess. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, you're the king of side-by-side shotguns, man. Well, it's kind of what it used to cost. And even when you look back at it, like I tell people, back 40 years ago, you're looking at, oh, wow, you could have bought that gun for $100 some dollars. Well, what was your take-home pay? Okay. Back at the time that they're advertising this, okay, I was lucky to bring home over $300. So something for even $80, $90, you go to a gun show and buy 2 things. You didn't have that much disposable income. Okay. Granted, now they pay people $25 an hour to work at Burger King. I should have been making 80, 90 an hour when I was working, but that never happened. But yeah, now I can see, then it ain't nothing to, fling out $500-600 here and there. Excellent shape and bore, but still has the old sight. It's desirable, but 600. I seen one in a pawn shop that had no bore. I mean, if somebody shot corrosive ammo, it's a shame. And he wanted $300 for it. If the bore wasn't destroyed, I would have bought it. Okay, I would have bought the gun, but the bore was, I mean, bad. Bad. Yeah, they won't even tell me. I said, do you have this item? And they said, yes, we do. And I said, okay, I'm ready to place an order. How much do you want for the damn thing? I want to order one. What's the price? Because it's not listed on their stupid advertisement. And I sent him 2 emails. He wouldn't answer me. So, I'm not going down a rabbit hole. All right, I just reviewed mine. I went out and shot it the other week, and I had to run the rear sight all the way to the damn one side, okay, on that rifle to get it to shoot on at 50 yards. So the thing about them, though, is I went and filed for my warranty, and you go to the website, put all the information in, and get it in there, and then they're ready to talk, discuss whatever you want. So this week I'm going to go and tell them, hey, these sights are off. And somebody sent something to me in the comment section when I just did the overview of it, and the guy said I couldn't zero it because the front sight was off. He goes, I sent it back and they corrected it. So something's telling me I may have to send this back because really that was the most expensive one out of the group I bought, and that's unacceptable. So I'll be making more videos about that, and I am going to contact them this week and try to send it back. So that's something coming up, because I get a lot of these comments. Well, if the magazine don't fit, set the gun back. And they told me they'd take it back, but all they're going to do is file some magazines that fit in there, and they said they'd send me a couple mags back with the gun once they fixed it, which is bull. But yeah, so keep watching my videos on that. Actually, I think I'm uploading one where I first took it out and shot it. Yes, I did. Let me close this. So that'll be posting in a while. I have a large backlog of videos I've been trying to get up. But yes, that gun's going to be covered. I think people buy it. People buy at the really sellers who charge as NA. Kind of really don't understand that statement. Yep, turn and burn. You know, that's true. I mean, for what it cost all them years ago for me to accumulate a collection, yeah, I can sell it for more, double, triple what the hell I paid for it. But what does that money buy me? You know, back then gasoline I don't think was $1 a gallon or something in the 80s, $1, $1.10. Now every time I go and fill the truck up, it's $50, $60. You know, uh, you know, so even if you do make out, okay, you you know you're getting more, but you know where are you going with it? Yeah, 360. You made $1.90 an hour. I mean that's the thing. I mean a Colt gun was $500. Okay, nice Colt civilian copy back in the 80s. You know, in the late 70s, early 80s, they were like $500, 550. And you know, you're talking a month for something like, you know, $1.90 is a little bit more, but you're talking almost a month's salary, take home salary to pick one of them up. You know, and people, oh, well, you know, now $400, you're getting a damn bargain buying any type of AR-15 thing. No, it's not. It's colder than hell. And what's my wife's getting nervous is it's supposed to rain tonight, and it is very cold. Um, we're afraid of freezing rain or trying to drive on the roads when they're icier than hell. Actually, you're better off with snow than you are with freezing rain and ice. But no, it ain't snowing here. So it's snowing up there in Tennessee. All right. I heard that. I forget where in the state, the mountains or one part of the state up there towards the Tennessee border might be getting snow. It's all right. Go build a snowman. You know, what the hell? Yep, for 390. Yeah. Yeah. I bought a super Black Hawk because I could afford it. I forget what I paid on it. It was a little under 200, I think, $180. I don't know if it was used or just something like that. But that's the one the first 44 mag I had was a super Black Hawk. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, these guys are buying these guns, be it Milsurp. There was another guy, he was buying some off the wall pistols, French pistols, and some Rossi revolvers, the old ones from the 70s. Um, they had parts missing, just trying to get the frames or something. And one of them had a few parts missing, but it was like frozen, the cylinder and the pin. And you know, and trying to find the parts is tough. Unless, you know, I don't know if they got a whole room full of parts, you know, and trying to repair these guns, they're not very valuable to begin with. And the amount of work and what you have to put into it to get it working again, they're just money sinkholes. Okay, you're going to lose. I think there's one guy now, a Navy vet 76. I don't know if it was him. There was another guy they use as a Navy thing. He bought some stuff from Royal Tiger, and he just said, you know, I had to just sell it and lose money, you know, because really nothing can do with it. Yeah, you saw it. You know, trying to find a part for a star pistol, which are pretty common, it could be a damn pain in the ass. Well, I'm going to work on that. If you got a membership, I'm going to start. I got some brass accumulated, and what I'm going to do is my step-by-step procedure, and I'm going to see how much of this stuff I can salvage. Now, when it comes to the rifles, the Century Arms one chews the brass up like an H&K, puts a big dent on the side, and sometimes the necks get screwed up. But there's a way, if you sit there, you can straighten that out to salvage it. The Semi C, for some odd reason, doesn't do it. The dent it puts in the side is pretty small. But I'm going to just sit there and try to hand tweak this because it is expensive. I was looking for some brass. I got some of my brass that I found. I got less than I thought I had. But I'm trying to get some different brands. There's a guy that sells 100 of them that he polishes up and in there. He must have fired them in a bolt action rifle. I'm going to get a couple different types of brass, Hornady, Aguila, and I think Federal or something. I might do that and then see how they hold up. But in general, yes, I remember when I had my HKs, I did reload some of the brass. You can. It doesn't destroy all of them terribly, but you may have to put a tad bit more work into it, which in terms of reloading, it looks like we're all going to be scrounging and doing everything we can because it's tough. Okay, it's tough. Yeah, and I see the one from whatchamacallit doesn't do that bad. But the Century gun, it looks like an HK. It you know it functions fine, but it does fling the brass and tear the piss out of it. You know, rims, everything. Snowman. Of course you would. Oh, what did he do to you? M39 cleaning rod. Yeah. See, if they don't have a cleaning rod, I could care less. I know a lot of people, oh, the gun's not complete without a cleaning rod. If I buy one rifle that don't have a cleaning rod, I don't even get into looking for them because people charge you 60, 80, $100 or whatever. I don't care. Yeah, just reload for the Largo. That's all I do. Starline makes the brass. You can use 30. I think I use 38 super dies, and I just load them with a Barry's 130 grain bullet, and just keep them on the light side of a 38 super. Um, and I shoot the Largo out of them. I actually like the Largo. Um, Other than trying to get a 9mm barrel, because those probably sold out. Everyone does it. So I won't get them because I've heard of people having complications with it. Okay. You can go buy, and that's why these guys always want to trade because depending on the mood at ATF, you're not, because they state it's a collector's license. It's not for buying and selling guns. Well, a lot of times I sell the duplicates in my collection. Okay. And sometimes they come up and they'll say that you have to sell it for the same amount, not a profit, and all this other stuff. And some people get hassled, some people don't. Okay, but for me, no, it's convenient in one way and good, just like my friend is going to say here. Yeah, I do. Okay, and in some ways it isn't. And I mean, the less reasons I have for somebody to come and check my paperwork and books, the better off I feel. And it's just personally. There's a lot of people that do have carry-on relic licenses, and they have no problems. They like them and all the other fun stuff. Yeah, well, you see, that's just it. You know, you're not going to find those, deals. You're not going to find that situation. All right, man, take it easy, Navy vet. Um, you're not going to find the where you have the piles of stuff. It's like I was talking last week or when I had the New Year's Day one. These people wandering around. Yeah, there was tons of stuff left over from World War II. I remember going into the gun shop, and I forget, the guy used to go, he had a whole box of just brand new Milsurp parts for M1 Garand, M1 Carbine, or whatever, all piled in there. And he said, give me $12 or something. And I had op rods for M1 Garand, and this stuff now is like $500 worth of friggin' parts in there. And it used to be laying around everywhere. And then the bullets. This guy come up to me in a gun show, wanted me to, he's telling me, I want a 150 grain full metal jacket bullet. Do you have any? Because I was selling reloaded ammo and I had some supply. I said, no. I said, I keep the stuff that's hard to find. Okay. I don't have anything that you can buy off the shelf. You can buy that off the shelf and you could buy 100, 200, 2,000. Okay. I said, that's an off the shelf item. I said, why are you looking around at a gun show for? Well, I only want to pay 3 cents a piece for them. Well, 22, 25 cents a piece. Yeah, you're not going to find them anywhere for 3 cents a piece. Maybe 50, 60 years ago, there was a guy here and ad, and, Shotgun News. He's talking 40 damn years ago, and this was stuff left over from World War II. Okay, it's gone, man. And what are you firing a 30 caliber machine gun or something? Just buy a damn box of 100 and load your ammo for your Garand or your Springfield or whatever. God, no, I don't want them for 3 cents a piece. Oh, good luck. Tell me how that works out. I've seen the 2-piece Yugo stripper clips for $5 to $10 a piece. 2-piece. You mean just the little flat ones that go in there? Yeah, if you want a stripper clip, you want one, you're going to pay somebody $5. That's the way it is for anyone. So look around and buy a bag of 50 or 100 of them for you're going to pay and resell them. But if you just want one, that's what you're going to end up paying $3 to $5 for a clip. Yeah. See, to me, it's too much of a hassle. I just don't do it. Yeah. See, that's what I mean. It depends like what mood they're in, or if you're buying. Sometimes I buy a lot of things, or I'll do stuff where I buy in spurts numerous firearms at one time, like handguns. There's a couple times, whenever you buy more than one handgun, it used to be at one time. Okay, they have to fill out a report, and that's the way it's been since 1968, and it's no big deal. Because I got like 3 handguns in from an auction. They're old guns, but they're still had to be put in. They were not that old where you still had to have some sort of license for it. And the guy says, and I've had several of them filled out, no problem. Now they changed it. I bought one pistol on sale, And then I waited about a week later, I bought another one. And then, when I went there, the guy in the gun shop wasn't there. I guess his wife was. And she goes and rings it up, and there's a note. May have to have form filled out. Now the ruling is if I buy one handgun within 5 business days, if I buy two guns, like if I buy it on Monday and I buy one on Friday, or it's 5 or 7 business days, then he has to fill out that form of multiple handgun buying. I guess because they don't like the idea of people going in and buying really inexpensive guns and turning around selling them to people that can't buy guns and going back and forth in the shop. They look for that. Or if, like, you buy, what the hell were they? Either High Points, but I bought them other ones that are right on par with the High Point. If you go in the shop and buy like 4 or 5 of them at the same time, they will come to your house. They'll come looking for you because, it's like you go in there and they got High Points on sale for $125 and you buy 4 of them. You'll get a visit, CNR or not. They're gonna come looking. See, and that's how they do it. Is they do the audits. They keep auditing. One guy told me, my buddy, he told me him and his dad, when they started a business years ago, they had an FFL. And he goes, for like 25 years, we were never audited. Okay, it was a little business they ran out of the basement and would go to gun shows. And he said, never got audited. He goes, now they audit me every 3 months. There's somebody in here checking the records, checking the books, And that's what they're doing. They're looking. They say they're auditing, but they're keeping track of who's buying what. And that's, I guess, with that big incident where they shot that guy. Of course, he was doing something insane. He was buying 9 Glock 17s in a week or something, and I don't know how many AR-15s and that. That throws up a giant red flag. Okay, a giant red flag, and that's how they get you. French version 750 to 12 Enfields. Well, like I said, I seen them on the gun broker listed, but that's not what they're selling for. What's sold was more down in the $350 to $400 range. The Irish 3,000. Yeah, see those things I forget. Them Turk Mausers were $125 or something. And I think I had a couple of them I sold for $175, because after the supply dried up, they went up from 100, $125 to $175 or $180. And then I didn't fool with them no more because they're all over the friggin' place. It wasn't worth screwing with it. But yeah, it's like I said, I might as well buy one of them fancy ass guns, and then when it comes time to get rid of it, I can get rid of one of them roller lock rifles a hell of a lot faster probably than trying to sell somebody a old French rifle for $1,200. 12 for clean matching Berthier's fair. Oof. Matching number 4, closer to 800, maybe 9. Well, see, that's another thing. A lot of these guns, that's condition, and are they matching? Okay, it is tough to find a matching gun. And the reason is, in the old days, when they imported them things in, they used to pull the damn bolts out. That's the problem with them stupid Vetterli, the 6.5. They pull all the bolts out, then just shove them in there, and then would sell them because they were selling them like scrap iron back in the 50s, 60s. Nobody cared. And that's why it's tough to find them matching, because the people selling them didn't care. They bought them cheap, they sold them cheap and fast, and that's why you see that. By the ton. Yeah, because you have to remember, it's like them Turk rifles. They were kind of crappy to begin with, and it was like whatever was left over, they just got rid of. And after the 80s, they let all them foreign countries bring this stuff in and deplete their supplies, and they're not making anymore. They're obsolete. They're written off as loss. So, yeah, once they're gone, man, these 60, 70-year-old rifles, they stopped making them 60, 70, they stopped making them 70 years ago. I doubt very much you'll ever see that. See, now, these guns I'm buying, it's kind of like the future of Milsurp. They buy parts kits and, put together these old Cold War battle rifles and semi-automatic version. And I mean, any of the original HKs, I've seen some of them, or the French rifle. They didn't bring very many of them in. They are astronomical. I'm talking $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 they want for these things. No, I got a couple. I can use $100. Okay. So he got one for 45. All right. There we go. Yeah, see, I don't know if you were here. I went to a pawn shop and found a number 4 Long Branch 1943, and that's what it looked like. Okay, and they wanted, I think, $490 some on sale. It was $550, and I kind of looked at it, thought, maybe do a video or something. But then I'm saying, no, it's probably one of them cobbled together pieces of crap. So. Shouldn't be. Yeah, that's French guns have gone insane, and they were always around. You used to be able to buy the ammo for them, the 8mm Lebel, but see, they kind of fell out of popularity when you couldn't get the ammo no more, and then all of a sudden, a lot of it, I guess these games that the younger people play, warfare games, they learn about all these old weapons from these games. Okay, the birth year and that, because you could I remember 30 years ago, you take a French birth year out there, nobody knows what the hell it is. That's a weird looking gun. So I don't know. But once it becomes popular, it's like people go, hey, you got all these views on that Roscoe revolver. I just bought the damn thing because it wasn't that expensive. It was a neat looking gun. But obviously, see, you catch something that's popular or people are talking about it, and the views go right off the charts. I'll post a video on a very rare and unusual gun that's hard to find, like look at it and talk about it. It might get 300 views in a year. I don't know. Fashion police. French used the hell out of their guns. Well, the British guns too, like the Germans, they made a ton of them, and there's a lot of different places. The sun never set on the British Empire. There's a lot of different places and countries all over the world that use Lee Enfields. Okay, the Middle East, Asia, Africa, So that's why you see more of those, more of a common gun than compared to the French guns. The French guns in the 50s and 60s, there was a ton of them around. They're pretty easy to find. I used to be able to go in gun shops and find them all the time. Okay, way back in the 70s, they were just, left over. Um, People buy them, they couldn't find ammo, and they go and sell them to the gun shop. You'd always find them in a used rack, you know, but eventually they just fade away too. Yeah, not for $1,200. I think I bought one with a damn bayonet back in '87 from a guy. He said that when he went there, he found this, and I mean, it came out of the Middle East with a bunch of stuff, and I mean, it was worn, beat up, and it had a damn bayonet with it. I paid $65 for it, and my buddy seen it, went nuts, had to have it. I sold it to him for $80. I didn't even keep the thing for 2 days because I knew finding ammo was a pain. And I'm looking at it; it's kind of worn. I said, "Shoot, this thing ain't good." And he kept it all these years till he passed away. I was at his house before he passed away, and he still had that foolish little gun. Never fired it or nothing. Has it there on the wall or in his gun rack, and kept it all these years. You know, don't know whatever happened to it. Well, it's up to you, man. I mean, if you can get the money, yeah. Now is a good, but see, it's tough to answer that because everything is so out of whack between the stock markets, um, gold and silver. Everything shot the hell up this past year. Now they're talking this stuff. It's totally off the wall. Okay, investing in the stock market. The stock market had a run. Now the stock market's coming down. 6 months from now, you don't know where anything is. And if the country goes in, which we've been in a recession, but if it actually goes in and Trump cuts through the crap and we start getting real and he starts enforcing stuff where people have to work and actually earn a living and do all this, we can go into a real deep recession. And then, you know, depending on how you go about selling it, it's like me to try to sell any type of older mill surplus, like the little Betterly rifles or the say Swiss bolt action guns or something like that, ain't gonna fly. Okay, the locals are going to the gun shows and they're not gonna buy that. That's specialized stuff. 9 millimeters or any weird thing with a magazine sticking out of it. Yeah, you're gonna sell that. You know, but trying to get the long dollar, best to go to a large auction house. But like I said, I did the one, 20% or something they charged me flat out. Just take the guns, start them at a penny, whatever they sell for, whatever the hammer falls, take 20%, that's our cut, and that's what you know. I broke even. I made money on some stuff. I knew I was going to lose money on some things, so I just kind of wrote them off. I had some dog crap guns I didn't want to screw with, and I threw them in there, and they went for dog crap gun prices. Okay, um, so that's a tough call. Okay, uh, if you know people that are collectors, I got a guy that you know if it's something he's interested in. Generally, when I want to sell it, I kind of got an idea what the price is, what I got into it. Uh, I call him and send him a picture of it. Say, hey, I'll let you take first crack. This is what I want for it, and he'll say yes or no, and then I go on to another venue or try something else. So, but it's not easy. Selling anything to get your money out of it's not going to be easy. Be it mill surplus or vintage stamps or coins or whatever, or your collection of glassware or something. All right, bought it for $500 a few years back. I doubt it will. I don't know. I don't know how old you are, but me, I'm just getting too old to screw with this crap. Because, like he's saying, I got a pile of stuff. I got nobody to leave it to, and I might as well start parting with it, trying to get the max amount of money out of it, and use that to live on. Because I have no one to leave it to, and then anyone who's my survivors, what happens? I see what happens. The motherfuckers just sell the shit and they want to do it instantly. They don't want to be bothered. They don't want to. They don't even want to know what it is. And the first person that shows up with a lump of money is going to buy it all for nothing. Okay. And I know so many guys that I've seen that are collectors and that shit. Okay. That's what happens. No. So I'm going to thin mine as I go along and just, you know, get something out of it and spend it while I'm still above ground, you know. Gun broker, they ain't terrible. Okay. The auctions are the ones, like I said, 20. That was the one place I dealt with. They were good, they were quick, and I was kind of happy with the results. Okay. Gun broker, yeah, you start getting up there into the higher levels, that payout gets a little bit higher too. But see, gun brokers, you still have to do the shipping, wait for the payment, all this other stuff. These people, once they pick my guns up, they're gone. And you're either going to make something or you're not. And you don't have to screw with the shipping, the waiting to get paid, and all this other nonsense. You know, that's kind of the deal. And I've heard bad stories of people that tried going to some of the larger auction houses. You know, like this one guy had a huge collection of Mosin hex receiver rifles. And he thought that, you know, $600 a piece. So he's figuring if I can get somebody to pay $600 a piece for them, okay, and then they take their cut out, he'd be happy getting with. But it ended up the way they presented the auction, they only kind of sold for about 2, 3 a piece, and he did not get. He lost a lot of money, or his prospective money. Okay, so that's another thing. And the only thing I don't like about these auctions is somebody will have like a collection of, say, Nambu Type 14s or something like that, and the guy must have gave them like 4 or 5. They put them all in the same damn auction, which you really shouldn't do that. You should put one in one auction, then wait, put another, so that way you got, you know, more people focusing on one item. But when you go in there and there's 5 items, the same item, I think that takes away from the bidders going higher. But, you know, it's tricky. Yeah, you have to find an end user, not a dealer. You have to find somebody that's a collector that's interested in the gun. And like you said, you go one at a time and you tell the guy, hey, you know, I got such and such a gun, and okay, and then you make a deal. Uh, and that's the way. And it's always somebody who wants the gun. See, because like when you go to gun shows and that, you got people there just trying to grab something cheap, or the flea market. That was another one. I had a gun out there, and the guy comes running over. What do you want for it? That's $500. Oh, he thought I was going to say $50 or something, right? Yeah, right. So, uh, yeah, and it's not easy. It's a task. It's a job. Yeah, I mean that's just it, and they don't care. Okay, he could have $40,000 worth of stuff. Guy comes in, goes, "I'll give you 15,000 cash." Okay, you know, and they take it. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. You know, they don't give a shit. Still have too many times. Yeah, I mean, you know, me and you both, bud. We ain't getting no younger. You move around a little bit better than I do, but truthfully, I don't know. Your son, he's not interested in it, is he? I mean, it's a tough call, man. It is. But yeah, that's what I got to start doing. I talked to my nephew, and he likes a handful of items. But then again, when up in New York State, half the stuff he really likes is against law. I can't send it to him. So it's crazy, and it's a tough decision to make. But I've seen too many guys, man. That I mean, this one old guy, he went to the flea markets. He had World War II, 1911 pistols and all this. And I was there at the auction after he passed away. And I mean, that stuff went for thousands. And I'm thinking to myself, he never really fired them. He bought them at a good price, okay, because he was always buying, selling, trading. And he had these things forever in the house. And they were worth all this money. Then he just got ill and he passed away like in 6 months. And he was at one or two of the auctions where the money come in, but all they're doing is paying his medical bills with it. You know, uh, it's sad. That's a decision you got to make. I mean, it is tough. I'd hate to go and just empty out everything and get rid of it all, but like he said, you got to go one at a time, slowly, and get your max amount out. Because I ain't gonna give the shit away. My Set Me See will soon be on that auction. All right, let's see what you get. Talking about Lock, Stock, and Barrel. I might as well mention their name. Lock, Stock, and Barrel. I mean, they're pretty easy people to deal with. They drove right to the damn house, picked the shit up, filled out all the forms, and when it sold, it was not even a couple weeks after everything closed. I had a damn check. So, you know. All right, man, take it easy. Yep, on the ground above. Yeah, but I mean, you can't keep everything. I had all kinds of guns over the years in my life. That if I had all of them, the stuff I had when I was a teenager, all the Carcanos and stuff and Japanese Type 99s, stuff I was buying for $10, $15 a gun. Okay, and I had like 15, 20 of them. If I took all that, put it in storage for 45 friggin' years, okay, and then brought it out now, yeah, you know, I'd triple up my money, but, who's going to do that? you know, that's what I mean. You just got to look at it. You enjoy them. You did it. You had fun. And, look at it that way. Yeah, I mean, anybody with common sense, that's what the hell you do. Because sometimes you do that. I used to go all these little rinky-dink auctions. And granted, there was some stuff that was junk that I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. But I made out several times. And half the time, I wasn't really quite sure what the hell I was bidding on. I didn't really look at it that close. But yeah, you can make out. Yeah, because that was the thing when I was shooting trap. One of the old timers passed away, and uh, one of my buddies is up there, and he said these guys are up there laughing and shooting these shotguns. And when the old man died, they bought like 5 or 6 of these real high dollar guns, whatever, people who shoot trap got those guns are all a couple grand a piece. They're up there, they're laughing, shooting them. And he goes, yeah, this guy passed away, and he goes, I offered his wife, he said about what the value of one of the guns were, and she gave them all to him. And they're sitting up there laughing about it. Swiss M38 Mauser. Not quite sure what that is. It's one of those, but good luck. Yeah, man. I mean, just start small. Okay, I actually got rid of one or two pieces here recently because I'm just looking at them and it's like, I'm not going to shoot these. I've shot them, I've had them. They're not that rare, and I just go and liquidate one or two at a time, very just casually, and start like that. Look at what you haven't shot in a while and don't think you will, and just see if you can uh, sell them. I mean, that's about the way to go. Because you're right. You know, there's so many people I know. A lot of guys I see, they get caught up. God forbid they get cancer or something, and then they're told, you ain't got that much longer. Okay, they get a very bad diagnosis. And I seen this one gun shop that used to take on consignment, and they filled the back area of the used gun rack with a ton of guns. I think I bought one or two items. We had a whole bunch of Japanese rifles and other things. And, then the owner said, well, this guy's going to come and offer me to buy the whole thing. And he said, this guy come in and offered him like a quarter of what the hell it was worth. He said, I'll buy it all in one shot because, another guy had an auction that some auction house set up his collection. That's how big it was. That they actually had an auction in one of the fire barns or someplace, and they tried auctioning it off before he passed. I guess that went well because he liquidated just about all of it and got something out of it. You know that wasn't too bad. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, that's something to think about. One old vintage American made. L.C. Smith or Baker. Oh, yeah, you may find them. You'd have to look. Swedish. Yeah, I'm not quite too sure on them. They had some of those were made with a chamber insert or some crap. I remember the Navy had a bunch of them. They tried converting into 308 back in the day. And I forget how the conversions work. If you get a proper conversion work done, there's some kind of block, you have to adjust it. Never did want one. The one I got 30-06 and just leave it as is. Oh. But you still have to modify modify the gun. You just don't throw a barrel on there. There has to be some other type of work, especially in the magazine area, or some kind of block or feed ramp put up in there. Oh, you had two done. That's cool. And it was easy to find. That's back when they all come in out of Korea. I had one or two with shot out barrels. I don't even think I paid $200 for them. They were complete guns. They just weren't in really good condition. Yeah, and they probably got a real nice price tag too. You know, I haven't even looked. We had the M14. I like that better, my M1A1. I actually took that out and it makes all these damn rifles look like crap. It shoots. Of course, it's got a medium weight match grade barrel built on a national match receiver. Yeah, there you go. You can try that out. I did not go to their. I went to their website. I guess they're going to have another lottery for pistols again. And a couple people had them, and I mean, they give them that whitish parkerized finish and all this other stuff on there. They look pretty crappy, and they're pretty expensive, but they are a genuine U.S. gun. If you collect, weapons, it does have a category. But for me, I was issued them things, and the military at the end of World War II, I forget how many millions of them were made. Military really never had another production run. Those guns have been reworked since the end of World War II. So, chamber insert, yes, yes. That's the thing. That's why you really kind of I wouldn't mess with it. All right, 43 Mausers. Yeah, but see, then you get your certificate of authenticity to go with it. That's the important thing. Cause I got one for mine somewhere. I lost the damn thing for Christ's sakes, but I got it's probably in the filing cabinet somewhere. I got the CMP or the DCM, whatever the hell it was called at one time. I guess that adds to the value. Yeah, but unfortunately, when you get older and you look at it, like I said, I've seen too many guys. I mean, have some nice stuff too, and then it just, I don't know. It's kind of like, what the hell's the point of doing it, spending the money, the time, building a collection, then just have the boom. See what he's saying here. Oh, I have both chamber insert and I don't know where the hell them guns would have been stored all these years. It must have just been sent to a depot or something. Because I know when they decommission the ships, I guess the guns all just. By the time the military had a ton of M14s, we were issued them new. All them frigates had a dozen of them on there. And then I guess they tried giving them to the Estonians or something. They gave it to them when they joined NATO. And then they realized they needed sniper rifles. So they told the Estonians they wanted all their M14s back, and they started turning them all into sniper rifles for going to the Middle East. Yeah, I mean, if you're rebelling it yourself, you need that stuff. Okay, you shouldn't be rebarreling anything without headspace gauges, irregardless if it's an M1 Garand or not. But, I know a lot of people, like one guy asked me a question, how do I headspace a gun without headspace gauges? You don't. It's as simple as that. Yeah. I know things change. What you're interested in changes over time. I was interested in one thing years ago. Now it's kind of like, you know what? Try something new. Fool with. That way I can keep my channel interesting to many viewers. Not get into the same old rut. High bid on rural towns around me. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I used to go to small town auctions, and every now and again, you get to look at it and find stuff, but a lot of it you have to buy sight unseen. Okay, because this last auction I was fooling around was somewhere in Illinois. Okay, I ain't driving up there to bid on a $300 gun. So yeah, it is, and you can, if you know what you're doing and you play it smart. Okay, you can make out going to these small auctions. It's on the gun broker. All right. BM59s. Yeah, Atlantic Firearms has them. And what do they, I see what they run for. I was never interested in getting one. Oh, God. Let me look. Just out of curiosity. Oh, as usual, it's screwed. Let's look. Okay, Atlantic Firearms. Let's look at battle rifles. Springfield Armory. Miscellaneous. Got them in there. FNs. Okay, FNs are $1.50. Here we are. That's about. Springfield Tanker 1700. BM6 Tanker 1800. Tanker Blemished 1599. They kind of look like a interesting gun. And you got the Alpini version. That's where you go with the folding stock. They're $2,000 some odd dollars. That's a pretty neat gun. But ain't got the money. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. The full-sized Beulah Defense. No, that's a copy of the M14. Load previous page. Yeah, they're not exactly cheap, and they don't have the full-size rifle ones in stock. Who the hell makes them? Beulah Defense System. No, those are M14s. I don't know who made those copies of the BM59s. They don't give a company name, so I don't know. And you built one. Did you build that on a M1 Grand receiver, or what did you build it on? No, because I have. If you watch my channel, you see where I bought stuff from Royal Tiger in the past. I actually did several videos. To me, they don't have nothing I want, and the prices for what you're getting aren't worth it. You know, so no, I'm not going to buy nothing from Royal Tiger. I don't think I'm going to buy nothing from them clowns at Hunter's Lodge either. Seen him at Sarco. Had a real young guy ask me if I thought he should buy this Tiger. Oh, Royal Tiger. Yeah, I mean, it's. I know people buy tons of stuff from there, okay? And, it's like buying from Hunter's Lodge and that. You're getting very low end quality stuff. And, and unfortunately, to keep busy, and I can see why people do it. You spend a few $100s and you got something to keep you busy and tinker with and try to get working. I've done that, and I can't blame the people for it, but truthfully, you're kind of spending a lot of money in that for ending up with something that ain't going to be that nice. So, you're better off realistically buying something better at a higher price. Yeah, Century Iron, but that now, I mean, you even mention that company or that gun I bought, everyone, all the comments are junk. I bought one and this and that, and they've been building these semi HK style guns for 20 years, and the early ones in the 90s were really great. And then there's a whole bunch of them, I guess, just like anything else, hit or miss, like the Taurus. I get a Taurus pistol, not a lick of trouble. Somebody else gets it, all kinds of problems, and keeps sending it the hell back to the factory till they give them another one. Okay, it's one of them deals. Okay, and it's hard to say, oh no, don't buy from them. Okay, because I've had stuff that I like and work good. Rod must be new here. Yeah, yeah, that's right. The geek knows. Yeah, somebody bought one from, what's the other place up there? Old Western Scrounge, because they had some weird generic Turkish pistol they were going to sell for $199, and I was thinking of getting that to add to my list of guns I'm reviewing. That would have fit in there nicely until they said that I'd have to get overnight shipping or delivery for $60. And I said something about it. I made a video talking about the situation and said something. And a guy goes that he bought an SKS rifle from them for like $600-700. Ended up paying again, like almost $60-70 in shipping. And the gun showed up and there was something really wrong with it. And he tried returning it and they refused or something. So he paid all this money and got stuck with this Chinese SKS or whatever that was in bad shape. And I remember when those came out, they had a bunch of them come in at one time and they were selling them on several of the different sites. I even think PSA was selling them or something. But they were all over the internet, and they were pretty crappy guns. South Shore speaks. I mean, yeah, if you're doing something like that, then it's worthwhile. If you're trying practice rust bluing and other things like that, yeah, don't try to like repair a decent gun until you've gotten some experience. I've never done it, okay, and I thought about it, but the tanks and the corrosive stuff, I don't have a separate building because I know a guy that had bluing tanks set up. He belonged to our club, and I went over to his thing. He had it in his garage. He goes, everything's got to be in this room because he goes, whenever I fire them tanks up, rust gets on my lathe and all the metal and all that other stuff. So that's why you don't see a lot of people doing it no more. Well, it all kind of depends what you look at. I can still go find them Vetterli 6.5 rifles with a clean bore that you can shoot with a cast bullet for about the same price or a little more than what the hell they're charging you if you know what you're looking at. And I mean, the stuff that comes out of there, the rust and the damage to them bores is terrible. Okay. I mean, that's why it just, if you said, yeah, good luck and you're happy with it, fine. But for me, I just don't bother anymore. Came out of Albania. Yeah, but that stuff was in bad shape. M95 with good bores. You mean they still had rifling in them? Most M95s that you find did. That fulminated mercury screws the bores up. But if you're saying a good bores, that means you got a weapon with some sort of visible rifling in it. Because I've had some from there where there is no visible rifling in them. And the Carcanos were the first thing I bought, and the 7.35s. One of them was total garbage. It wasn't worth $50. Okay, one of them I still kept because even though the bore is weird on it, it still shoots a rifle or still shoots a bullet somewhat straight. Why, I don't know, but but yeah, that's current state of it. Will it ever get better? I don't know. Okay, it's kind of like back in the day when they used to sell all the old Civil War guns and the 30-40 Kriegs were abound. And I asked the guy that went to gunsmithing school in the 50s, and he said the reason you see so many sporterized Krieg rifles is because it was the cheapest gun you could buy that was, halfway decent, buy it surplus. And then you got to practice carbon wood, shortening the barrel, putting sights on, all that other stuff. You modified the guns. And he goes, that's why you will find a lot of them sporterized, because when you went to school to learn gunsmithing, he goes, that's what you bought for your project. And, I remember it was back in the Depression era is when they sold the Civil War stuff. But it was plentiful in the 40s and late 40s, early 50s to find Milsurp old Civil War guns. I don't think there was a huge demand for them. But some of the older cartridge guns like the 4570s and the Sharps and that, and a lot of the Civil War guns were still, the black powder types were still available, like as Milsurp, you can find them floating around. And they eventually dried out, and they dried out so fast, and everyone got into reenacting. That's where the Italians stepped in and started manufacturing all these old designs from the Civil War, okay, that we still see today. And they specialized in that, the Italian gun makers. The Japanese did some, and there's some you find in other but the Italians stuck with it, and they still do it today. And you see how the price on them things. It used to be a used replica, anything, cap and ball, rifle, musket. Couldn't sell it to save your life. But now new, they're close pushing to $2,000 for a gun like them Sharps rifles and carbines I got, the percussion ones. You know, I got like, I pick them up for 6.5 niche cheap. Okay, they go upwards, and actually there was an auction I was supposed to be looking at yesterday. I was looking at a Cook carbine, and already in the run up they had it over $800 or something. So I wasn't even gonna bother because I knew where that was going. Waste my time sitting in the auction. You all need to go back. Yeah, they were junk. Yeah, so I think that that was you. You got something because there's another channel that the guy does a lot, and he bought stuff from Royal Tiger, but you end up putting some good money in there, and then you got to just get rid of it. There's nothing to do. You're never going to find a shootable barrel or yank the barrel off of any of them or do any type of work on them. Okay. Um, Unless you just want a historic display to put next to your mannequin wearing a Austrian uniform or something, you know, it's a not a good thing. Well, gentlemen, hit my hour and a half limit. I have to get going to a couple social engagements here. And we're up to where we got like 55 people viewing, which is good. Now we're back up to where the pre-plague audience, you know, everything's been going good. We get some topics we like to discuss. I'll try to think up of another one next week, or generally the same topics we always talk about: reloading and mill surplus guns. It's always a good topic to talk about. Um, so yes, I'd like to thank everybody for showing up. I'd like to thank you guys for your input and hanging in there and coming in. And I will see everybody same time next week. All right. Thank you.